Theme song. Scoo-doo-doo-boop-boop-bow-wow-wow-wow. Welcome, everybody, to the Can Complain podcast. My name is Amanda, and I am here with my wife, Mikey.
Hi.
We are getting this podcast started, and it's in the middle of a thunderstorm. The thunderstorm rolled in literally 10 minutes ago as we were setting up. So, our dog, whose name is Pig,
He's an angel.
you might hear him panting out of pure anxiety because of the thunder. So, we apologize up front for that. But welcome. My name is Amanda, and I have been saying for a long time that I want to start a podcast. I know that's exactly what this world needs is the 1 millionth and 80,000th billion gajillion podcast. Everyone seems to have one these days. But I would go through life and people would just say to me, Amanda, when are you going to start a podcast? Everyone tells me, Amanda, you are just hilarious. You are so funny and you have thoughts on things and I need to hear them. Like, I can't go to bed. My phone blows up. I walk down the street. People say, you look like you have thoughts and I need to know what they are. So that's why we're here today. Better late than never, I suppose. And Mikey, my dear wife, why don't you go ahead and tell the people who you are?
I am Mikey. I am Amanda's wife. I am my own person, but I am Amanda's wife. And I am a photographer.
Yes.
I work from home when I am not photographing.
Photographing.
And yeah, that's me.
Well, I think there's a lot more to you.
That's a quick introduction.
Than that.
That's the basis.
But yes, so currently you are a student.
Yes, that is true.
/ freelance photographer.
I am what they call the geriatric student. I am nearing 30, and I am getting my bachelor's degree.
Wow, but listen, I am very proud of you. You took quite a few years off from school to be a nanny.
Yes.
And
very rewarding.
Yeah, I mean, from that you really gained a lot of valuable life skills.
I have.
You became essentially a super mom when the time comes that we will have children.
Yep.
And Pig is very lucky to have you as his mom.
I know.
Isn't having a dog exactly like having a
It basically is. Like how he is right now on top of us practically.
That's such a controversial statement.
Yeah.
I feel like moms to human children are always so mad when dog moms refer to themselves as dog moms or moms or my dog is my child. But you know what?
I think that the older generation, like older than us, we're technically on the cusp of millennial and Gen Z, but I think we land far more in the millennial pocket.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm a zillennial, but leaning more towards millennial.
But I think the older generation thinks it's more insulting than our generation because most older people do not treat their dogs like children. So they don't understand why we say that. But I love my son as though he were my son. He is my son.
I'm trying to get him to lay down on his blue pillow, which I always wondered why he loved this pillow so much. And fun fact, I learned that dogs really can only see, they can see some colors, but blue is like the color that they can really see. So
this is the brightest object.
Yes, but he's panting, he's slobbering and drooling. He's a very anxious dog, especially when it comes to thunder and fireworks. So I'm hoping it doesn't last much longer for him.
But we're powering through.
But yeah, so welcome everybody. And I really kind of want to forewarn everybody that this is a brand new podcast. We don't know where this is going to go.
This is a for fun podcast.
Yeah, no, it's for fun. But, we're going to find our groove.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to listen to this back and be like, I say like too much.
Well, I
I say
also
be
think it's
like.
important to note that this is now our third episode we're technically recording.
This is a trial episode
Yeah.
number 3. I'm
I th-
hoping this is the one that goes up. We've
I have a
learned
feeling.
lot.
Yes, I have a feeling that this is a good one. I think this is going to be great. I think that
I
we
agree.
have so yesterday, to let the listeners know, yesterday we recorded 2 hours worth of us just sitting here and talking.
And we sat down and we edited the
We
entire
we
thing, which
spent
took
8
4 hours.
We spent 8 hours during the day yesterday working on this podcast,
Yeah.
from recording to
Yeah.
sitting and editing it. We edited it top to bottom all the way through, and then we took a moment, we walked away, we sat in bed, and immediately we both were like, this is not
going up.
No,
This
no
is
one
not
will be
being
hearing
posted.
this.
So hopefully third time is the charm.
I think it is.
I'm hoping that Pig's panting truly is not that loud.
Well, if they can't even hear our AC through this, then they're not going to hear Pig.
Yeah, the AC is white noise though. Pig is
They won't be able to hear
piggy noise. But anyway, folks, the moral of the story here is bear with us.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to find our footing.
We're getting the kinks out.
We already have a guest lined up for episode number 2. If they, hopefully don't flake, because people are going to look at me and be like, you literally haven't even posted an episode. You have negative 3 subscribers. I'm going to give you my time and come and talk to you about what. But we're hopeful. We're hopeful for the future. So let's just dive right in, and let's discuss maybe just kind of how we met and a little bit about who we are. So you introduce yourself, what you do. Again, my name is Amanda. I work in higher education. So, working with college-age youth. I feel like I was a college-aged youth not too long ago, but so I work in the higher ed system. Moved to New York about 10 years ago now. That's because crazy. I really believed that I was going to be the next, Meryl Streep or Tony Award winner. Went to school for theater, did the whole thing.
Yep.
And ended up really pretty much immediately from graduating college working at a college.
Well, you were working for the college during college.
Yeah, right. Shout out to all my fellow college tour guides. People are going to listen to this podcast and be like, a theater major and a college tour guide makes complete sense. I can see it. So that's how I kind of was doing my grind during college. And then it just all kind of fell into place, So that is what I do. But the story of us, I don't want Taylor Swift to sue me, trademark Taylor Swift. The story of how we met dates back to 2012.
Yep.
Yeah.
Many moons ago.
The beautiful and marvelous site that is Tumblr. Tumblr.com.
Yep.
Also trademarked. I don't want to get a lawsuit
Shout
in my
out
first
Tumblr.
episode. So, yeah, we were just blogging about different things, but mostly just kind of in different fandoms. So we kind
mostly
of
SNL.
fell into the Saturday Night Live NBC fandom. I loved just pretty much anything, Disney Channel. So it was Jonas Brothers and Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift. And even though Taylor's not Disney, she got kind of
I would
wrapped
definitely,
up with them.
I would definitely say that back then you were it was mostly SNL. Like,
yeah, it was a lot of Saturday Night Live because I was really just trying to move to New York to be on SNL, be a writer or performer or whatever. So we had similar interests.
Yeah.
You kind of found my blog through SNL hashtags and things. And
I said, oh my God, wow, we have very similar interests. And you live seemingly near me. We were both in Florida.
Yeah, our bios both said that we lived in Florida. But Florida's a big state, mind you. I mean, you can literally be at the top of Florida and it would take you, depending on where you're going, like if you're going to Miami from Jacksonville, like 10 hours or something crazy like that. So
we were not sure where in Florida each other were, but we knew we were about the same age. She technically is a year younger, but not really. Like sometimes we're the same age, sometimes
And then
I'm a year
sometimes
older.
she's my elder, and I
Right.
say, "You're actually very problematic for this age gap."
My birthday is at the end of this month.
Sometimes,
This month is going to be this is my golden birthday year. I will be 29 on the 29th. Very exciting.
yeah, sometimes we're the same age, and then sometimes I'm Sarah Paulson, and you're
Yeah.
whatever. Oh my god, I'm gonna get myself canceled for
Her
not
name
knowing
is
her name.
Holland
Taylor.
Holland Taylor, yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Listen, we stan Sarah Paulson in this house.
Yeah,
I adore her.
yeah. I think their age gap is a bit.
I mean,
odd.
it is a large
I'll
age
say
gap,
that.
but
It's
they
a
are
very-
consenting adults,
Of
and that is all that
course.
matters
Her
to me.
frontal lobe is fully developed,
Fully developed.
and Holland Taylor's is
Very developed.
disintegrating.
That's ageist. We're cutting this.
No, okay, wait. Hold on. We have to forewarn everybody that this podcast, it's supposed to be funny. We're just making jokes. It's not serious.
Yes, we didn't mean that at all.
However, I am also, if anything, a hater. I am a certified hater, and that's okay.
You wanna know
we
what?
need haters in this world. So if I'm going to be charged with any crime in this podcast, it's being a hater and a hypocrite. Because I hate hypocrites, but I also will find myself being a hypocrite when it benefits me.
Yeah. So before we hit record on this podcast, there was a brief discussion about whether or not I will be a co-host or just a guest today, and I won't be on a further episode.
No.
However,
you can be a recurring guest.
We're gonna pause on her thought because I think it is urgent and important that I am a constant co-host, because I think without me there to pause your thought process so you don't get too far gone, I think you do need me.
No. Because first of all, that's ableist because I have ADHD. And second of all,
I don't think that has anything to do with your ADHD, but okay.
And second of all, you also go off on strange side quests in your thought process.
No, I am not talking about side quests. I'm saying that sometimes I need to reel you in on going down the path of hating
getting
too
canceled.
Hard. I wouldn't really say canceled, because I do genuinely think that we have pretty safe opinions on things for the most part, but I think that we balance each other out. That is the key to our relationship. We are a good yin and yang balance.
That's actual cultural appropriation, so I would reel that in.
Okay. Well, the most common
I'm not laughing at cultural appropriation. That's not funny, but I'm trying to.
The most common note that we got in our wedding cards was that we are the yin and yang to the yang. Yes, we're a very good.
We're
match.
a very balanced match, and I really appreciate
in
that.
the best way.
In the best way.
Yeah.
I am loud, outgoing. I, am just kind of the more rambunctious one. You are the more laid back, chill. But it's funny because when we're at home alone with each other, it's opposite.
Yeah.
Like, I think that because I talk so much, one, for a living, and two, just
for a living.
Outwardly.
It's just a funny.
No, I mean, I
know.
literally do. But when I, am out with friends and stuff, I am always kind of on, quote unquote.
I'm more.
And then when we're home, it's opposite. I just kind of stop talking a lot, and then you
and that is
have
when
a lot,
take off.
and you shine.
Yes,
you really
specifically the moment that
we
our
rest
heads,
our heads.
Yes,
on
the moment
a pillow.
Our heads are rested on a pillow.
She has
at night
everything to say.
Every thought that has crossed my brain during the day comes out then.
I will have fallen asleep, and she will be like, and then I was talking to just literally just. As though I was along for that thought process with her.
Well, in my defense, I think that you fall asleep unnaturally quickly. Like, we will have been just having a conversation, and I will maybe stop the conversation for 15 seconds, and you will have already fallen asleep.
Well, I'm tired. I'm a tired individual.
Meanwhile, it takes me forever. It takes me about an hour and a half to fall asleep, I think. Literally last night,
if it takes me more than 20 minutes, I get anxiety. Like, if it takes me longer than 20 minutes to fall asleep, I'm like, give me a Benadryl. I need to knock myself out.
Well, it makes me anxious too when I don't fall asleep, but I just live with that anxiety. I just bottle that right on up.
Wow. We need to unpack.
We need to unpack
that. So yeah, we've been together since 2012.
It's gonna be
Y-
12 years in
You
June.
messaged me first.
I did.
What was the first message you ever sent me?
If I remember correctly,
And you do.
it was, oh my gosh, are you a 15? Were you 15? No,
No,
you were 16.
yeah,
It was, are you a 16-year-old junior or a 16-year-old sophomore?
I thought it was
It was,
senior.
no, it was sophomore because I was a
Oh.
junior. It
Yeah,
was
you
our
were.
junior
It
year.
was like, are you a 16-year-old sophomore or 16-year-old junior or something like
I,
that?
I said, I believe that I started the message off with, oh my God, we have so much in common. We both live in Florida. We both love
We have a
SNL.
screenshot of the message
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to our Patreon, you'll be able to view
We
the.
don't even have Patreon.
Well, one day we'll make one
Maybe.
if it takes off, which it probably won't. I'm
Yeah.
going into this with expectations on the floor, folks.
Yeah, I think that our initial listeners are going to be our very close friends who love us and support everything we do, which
Well-
shout out them. And then I think it's going to be our biggest haters who just want to see if we
Mhm.
talk about them,
Well,
which
I already
shout out, we
have
won't.
54 followers on the Instagram. That's pretty
Yes,
impressive.
I will say I scrolled through those followers and they are some of our closest, most
lovable
friends.
Sidebar, and we'll also a sidebar to the sidebar. When Mikey and I talk, we tend to
Sidebar
go
a
on
lot.
sidebars a lot,
Yeah.
but we always find our way back to what we were originally talking about.
Yeah.
So come along for the journey, stick with us because we will get there, I promise. But one of my old colleagues and good friends, Courtney, shout out Courtney if she's listening to this, and I hope she will be, sent me a screenshot saying it was a friend of hers,
Mhm.
and it said, "Oh my God, do you know this person?" And it was the pod was suggested, the Instagram was suggested to her. She goes, "My boss was just asking me the other day, if you had a podcast, what would it be about?" And she says, "It would just be about me complaining and my pet peeves."
Look at that.
And then she goes, and then this popped up.
How interesting.
And I said, see, the general public is already on our side, and we
Well,
haven't even premiered yet.
That's not
And
too shabby, I gotta
shout
say.
out to Courtney's friend in Texas. I hope you're listening because I've mentioned you now.
I promise we'll get to complaining soon.
Complaints will come.
Yes.
But so anyway, the moral of the story is we're so happy that you're listening to us, and as you're in on the ground floor as an investment. You're investing in us because we might skyrocket.
Maybe.
Probably not,
Probably
but
not. You never know.
We'll be a cult classic
Yeah.
pod
amongst our friends.
But it feels very nice. All 54 followers that we have so far.
Listen, I've got to be honest though. Like our dear friend Katie, shout out Katie.
Shout
she
out
will
Katie.
eventually be on this pod.
Mm-hmm.
Katie had a podcast as well.
Yeah.
And I listened to almost every episode. They were great. I really enjoyed them. I don't know that they took off, but they were fun. I think that our friends will enjoy this greatly.
So you messaged me, and when I received that message, because Tumblr had the ability to ask something anonymously.
Yes.
And you had anonymously messaged me multiple times before, but this was your first time messaging me not anonymously.
Interestingly enough, this is very much the tea. This is the interesting part that but when we tell the story, most people don't hear this side of the story.
Okay.
That I had been, so Amanda was well followed on Tumblr. I feel like you were,
about that.
well, compared to me, you had been on Tumblr longer than I was. I was only on for maybe a year at this point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I found you because you clearly were followed enough that you came up like in my suggested follows, I guess.
Yeah.
And I followed you, and you occasionally would post personal things, you know, like I can remember you posted, I think for like a Christmas dance or something like that.
Yeah, I looked really good in that photo.
You did.
I had a red dress for all my Nick Jonas fans out there. I had my red dress on. It had
high
like
heels,
glitter, like snowflakes as the shoulder band or something, or they looked like snowflakes, but it was like bedazzled kind of band.
The photo was taken on like a potato. It was taken on like
terrible quality, but I had straightened my hair, heels for days, so my legs looked long
legs.
I looked really good, but too old for being 16.
Yeah, well, she posted that, and I don't know that so wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the first few times that I had messaged her anonymously, it was because she was in a play at school, and she was posting about how she was nervous or something like that. It wasn't
Yeah, of
serious, but
course.
you know, everybody gets nerves. And I had ananomously messaged her saying like, "You're gonna do great," like whatever, just something
Being very
being very
supportive.
sweet and supportive and corny as hell because I
Mm-hmm.
don't even know this girl, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's something about being online, especially back then. There was something very like bonding about
Yeah.
being like someone's like a follower on Tumblr. I don't know. Everybody who was on Tumblr will get it.
You were just drawn to me though.
I
And
very
that's
much was.
okay.
And I messaged and I was supportive. And then I think I messaged you when you posted that red dress photo. And then shortly after that, I think that I actually like really went on your page and
Mm-hmm.
that's when it registered that like you also live in Florida.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god, this could actually be like so cool."
Right.
And
We
for
could be
context,
besties.
well right, for context, neither of us were aware that we were into women.
No.
We were very much
I
that
mean,
just wasn't even in
I
our
was
plane
like, oh
of
my God, Lady Gaga is so hot. But
right.
everyone thinks
Yeah,
that.
right. Which again, obviously looking back in hindsight,
It was the beginning
all
of
of
an
the
awakening.
yes, all of the markers were there for the both of us.
Yeah.
But it was more just, oh my gosh, this is going to be my best friend.
Right.
And it was junior year of high school. You know, I feel like for most people, that's that time where like friendships start to, you know, you start to see what's going to last the test of time.
Right.
And I was very much in the market for, you know, a ride or die bestie.
Mm-hmm.
And I messaged her, she messaged me back. And I mean, just like that, it was that easy.
Well, when my reaction to getting that message, first of all,
she thought she had a fan.
No.
Yes.
Well, no. You were asking me because I didn't ask me anything. I was like, I'm bored, guys. Ask me anything. So you sent that, but your profile
Was it in response to an Ask Me
I
Anything?
think so. I think it was
Interesting.
just like,
I don't remember that. I believe you, but I
I
don't
was
remember
like,
that.
just ask me anything. And so your profile picture was a child.
It
was
was
you.
it was
as
a baby
child,
photo, yes.
But it was a baby photo.
Yes.
And then I get this message asking me my age.
Well, your age was on your profile.
Or asking me what grade I'm in. And I was kind of like, you know, my mom is a cop, so I just hear these stories of like, the internet's gonna get you killed.
Right.
So I was weary. But I answered anyway. And then we started talking, and that led into, you know, just constant messaging every day.
We
like
were
Tumblr
messaging
message after Tumblr message.
Yeah.
As soon as I would get home, I would check my Tumblr
Yeah,
messages and I would wake up and check my Tumblr messages. And you were very much sending me like inspirational
not yet.
quotes.
No, wait, pause.
Okay.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
That was not the case. So we first started messaging in February of 2012 on Tumblr.
Right.
And we switched phone numbers. We swapped phone numbers in March.
Okay.
So it was a month later. But the kicker here was that I was about to be going on a like week and a half long trip, a school trip to Italy, which was something I was so excited for. I was in art history and I like saved all of my summer camp money and like paid for this trip. And that was the first time for like a week and a half where we were not talking. So we had spoken to each other every day for about a month.
And then you ghosted me.
And then I basically ghosted her. And then when I came back, it was like no time had changed.
Right.
No time had passed. We were texting every single day. And then
when you're in high school, a week and a half can change a lot.
Yeah. And it very much was like when we started talking again, you know, it's high school. Like high school feels like bigger than life when you're in it. You know, it's like you look back now, obviously, as an adult, and it's silly. You know, you think of like the things that you worried about then, and you know, it just seems like it didn't matter. But it was a tough time, and I was, you know, you were telling me about things that were going on in your life, and I just was trying to be supportive. So I was very much, I will straight up say I was a dork, and I would look up like inspirational quotes. And granted, on Tumblr, like they would come up. Like sometimes things on Tumblr come up.
This is the cringy day, the chuggy days of like reblogging inspirational quotes over, you know, like a cityscape or something like that.
No, it was like it would be like that photo of like a Tumblr girly, and then the text over it, like just girly things or just teenager things or something. What was it?
Girly things. Yeah. So the rest was history. We were talking every single day. She lived 3 hours away from me. She lived in the Orlando area. So I was always going there with my family for, just family trips, Disney,
Privilege.
Universal. Lived a very privileged life in that regard of
Mhm.
the trips all the time. But we were always kind of going to Orlando,
Yep.
even if it was just Old Town, which
Shout out
Old Town theme amusement park, because that is where our first date was.
Yeah.
So we had been talking for months at this point because we started talking in February, texting in March, and then now it's mid-June.
Yeah.
And no, end of June. Sorry,
School
June 29th.
ended. It was summer.
It was summer, and we were taking a trip up to Orlando to go to Universal, and we were stopping at Old Town the first night. And I said, hey, I know you live not too far from here. Do you want to come and meet with me? We had made each other arts and crafts gifts. I had
Sometimes
made
I forget
her
about that.
a scrapbook. It was pieces of construction paper
I still have
tied
it.
together with string with like ribbon. And
It had like stickers
I had
and printed.
Yeah, like New York. There was like a New York City page.
We got a little slightly ahead of ourselves. We were messaging on Tumblr. We started texting, and then it turned into
like endless hours of like we would fall asleep
online chatting, like FaceTime, basically.
Yeah, it was called Uvu back
Shout
in
out
the
Uvu.
day.
Yep.
So there was Skype, but we used Uvu.
Yeah.
So we would literally be falling asleep on the computer with each other.
I mean, quite literally.
And still in our minds, we're like, we're best friends.
Yeah. No, literally, we would be on FaceTime essentially until 4 a.m. Like there were so many nights where we were up until 4 a.m., which obviously now is outrageous. I cannot tell you the last time we stayed up past 10:30.
We are in bed by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Every night.
Genuinely.
So then it was like, okay, well, our moms had seen each other. This is my friend that lives in Orlando, whatever. So our moms had met over the video chat. And so we were able to convince them to let us meet, this stranger from the internet.
Yeah.
And
we were supposed to meet on June 30th. That was supposed to be like our first meeting,
but it was your dad's birthday.
It is my dad's birthday that day.
Shout out Mikey's dad.
Yes. But he we still ended up meeting the next day, but you ended up telling me, oh, we're going to Old Town the night before if you want to come meet us. And of course I was literally willing to do anything. I was so excited to meet you. And in our brains, like I think that we were starting to realize that this was more than just a friendship, but there was still a lot of...
Well, let's be real. We were texting in a spicy way to each other from time to time.
Our parents are going to listen to this.
They will.
Let's please keep it PG.
Yeah, PG. Sorry.
But we'll cut that part
out. No, we don't need to. And then we would feel guilty about it.
We would be like, guilty about it.
Yeah, I would feel guilty about it.
I mean, that would occur, and Amanda would be like, "Okay, we need to take a break for this for a week or two because I don't want to ruin our friendship." That's my favorite part of the entire story to tell because it's so outrageous. I just want everyone to stop.
I put a 2-week temporary.
Right. I just want everyone to stop for a second and picture like your best friend who is actually exclusively your best friend. There's nothing shady going on there. Imagine sexting your best friend and then having the nerve to look at your best friend and say, okay, we'll do this again. Your best friend. Imagine looking at your best friend and saying, all right, that was fun. We'll do this again in 2 weeks to make sure that we don't mess up our friendship.
Oh my God.
It's outrageous. It really is.
Anyway, whatever. So
anyway, we, I tell my parents that I want to meet this friend of mine, which again, for context, I was very much the kind of person who did not have like super, super, super close friends. Like I was friends with a lot of people.
I had a big friend. Well, not big, but I had a friend group.
But what I mean is like, I didn't like hug my friends. I wasn't very like affectionate.
Oh, right.
Towards
it
my
was
friends.
Not normal for you, but like I don't think my mom suspected anything because I was always the one having sleepovers.
Right. I never really had sleepovers. I had like a handful.
Yeah.
But like it was just very out of the ordinary for me to be so obsessed with someone. And so I am sure my parents were like, what is happening here?
Right.
What is going on? And so another funny like tidbit is that when, we decided that this was going to be the day we were going to meet, on the family calendar, my dad wrote Mikey meets stranger, which is just still so funny to me.
Very cute.
Yeah.
But you know, we oh my god.
What?
I'm sorry to the viewers at home. I am distracted because there is a
Is that a
giant
lanternfly?
bug. It looks like it could be a lanternfly on our window outside.
Ugh.
And
PSA New York, kill those
yeah,
lanternflies.
sidebar, if you're in the New York area or anywhere that has been taken
Plagued.
over by lanternflies, you are supposed to squish them
Yes.
because they're invasive. But okay, so we're back on this thought.
No.
You know, so we meet, we're giving each other these arts and crafts
Oh
gifts.
yeah, I had painted a little canvas. It was probably like an 8x10, maybe a little bit smaller than that.
Mhm.
No, it was about 8x10. And it was a taxi, like speeding by, like it kind of had like, you know, the blur of lights. And on the taxi, like the card at the top with like the ads on it, Amanda's like favorite show, like musical at the time was Hairspray. And so I had drawn the Hairspray like logo, like the Broadway logo, and I had written like starring Amanda Hudson on it, which is just so cute. I can't get over it.
Yeah.
We were so cute.
We
really were.
So I had taken, you know, again, scrapbooks, like a collage of New York. I had taken the song Hours by Taylor Swift and redid the lyrics to match our situation, which like what was our situation at the time because we were just friends.
Right.
Anyway.
And then, and you had written like a handful of poems, little
poetry.
They were like haikus, I think.
I mean, come on.
I know.
Come on.
And then there was like a photo of
girls
like
don't do this for their best friends.
No, there was like a photo of like New York, and you're like, this is going to be our home.
Yeah, we were literally planning on moving
endearing.
together.
It really was.
We were very young and in love, and now we're old and in love.
Yeah.
But we met.
She still writes poems
at
for
Old
me
Town.
sometimes.
I remember going through the haunted house and holding your hand, and like the sparks flying, and my like literal like heart racing. And thinking, oh my God, I'm holding, because the audience needs to know we were both very much like late bloomers.
Oh yeah.
I had not the kiss that I had before was literally for acting class.
Yeah.
I had never kissed anyone like for real before.
Neither had I.
And so it was pretty much first kiss.
It was our first experience with like love and in general.
And then it was like, okay, but we're also imagining our whole life that this would be with a guy, but now it's with my friend. So it was an odd place to be.
Which ironically enough, which I think is just, I still don't understand necessarily why this is, but I feel like it was much easier for me to come to terms with that than you.
Even though my mom was always like so accepting, like, you know, I grew up around trans individuals, which again, this is, you know, in the 90s.
Yeah.
To be gay in the 90s is one thing, to be trans, you know, but my mom didn't care. And so I always grew up in this environment of, you know, my mom, knowing that my mom would be accepting, but I still was so nervous.
That, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that it probably is because like you are the kind of person who always very much had a plan for your life and you could picture your future. Whereas I have always been more just go with the flow. Like I never pictured like a wedding. I never pictured that kind of stuff. Like I feel like to the extent that I've ever pictured anything, it's that I've always wanted to have children. But I never like
I was like,
that doesn't mean I needed a husband.
I'm gonna go to college in New York. I'm gonna be an actress. I'm gonna get married. It's gonna be to Joe Jonas. which what a time.
Hashtag Team Sophie.
Yeah, Team Sophie, Queen of the North. Joe has given me the ick. I'm like, ugh. But that's a whole other podcast episode.
But also going back to what you were saying about the haunted house, you know, like I can remember that still, like the butterfly, like how just incredible that felt. And that's why, for those of you who have not watched Heartstopper on Netflix,
please
we cannot recommend a show enough.
Yeah.
It is, if you want to know how we felt, that show is how we felt. Like, like that, like they do such a beautiful job.
I cry watching it because it just reminds me of us.
Yes, they do such a great job of capturing like how like
even just the littlest,
exciting.
like touching the
Yeah.
person's pinky.
Yeah, which I'm sure that a lot of people have experienced that. I guess like
Right.
it's not just necessarily it being someone of the same gender,
Right.
but I think it just really shows you, especially in our
I just think it's a
situation,
whole other layer when it is a
it's
same
something that's
sex
not
couple, because it's
acceptable in
not
quotes.
yet quote unquote the norm and the
Right.
traditional. And
Right.
so there's this extra layer of anxiety that anyone might get on a first
Yeah.
date. But also, well, what does this mean for me?
Right.
What does this mean for our friendship? What
Yeah.
does this mean for me as an individual? How
Right.
do I label myself?
Right.
How do I
Because
so
even once you come to terms with your own self, there's always that fear that the other person will not reciprocate that, which, yes, to some extent, that happens in any relationship.
uh-huh.
But the fear of retaliation is so much worse
Yeah.
when it's a same sex relationship because you
Right.
just don't know.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, we did the haunted house thing. We held hands. We spent
Mhm.
the day together at Old Town. Then the next day, we went to Universal.
Which Amanda was deathly ill.
I was very, very sick. I think I was patient zero for COVID. I
Yeah.
think I had COVID back in 2012 because I had no voice. Every cell in my body just felt sick. And I was like, I cannot miss this
Yeah.
trip. I have to go and I have to meet this girl. So she's meeting me and I sound like this. I'm like, I have
Yeah.
no voice. And she doesn't even, at least she knows what I sound like by
Mhm.
whatever. At least she knew what I sound like
Yeah.
by FaceTiming, because if that was her first time meeting me, she'd be like, you sound like you smoke 10 packs a day.
Yeah, it
had
was bad.
No voice. And
But yeah, we went to Universal.
we went to Universal, but we spent the entire
the majority,
morning
yeah,
watching Madagascar 3.
yeah, at like
Right.
not inside Universal, but like right
The
outside.
movie theater that was like on the
City Walk. Right? City Walk
Yeah.
is Orlando. is
So it was
Universal.
literally us sitting in the back row, and then
there was
random
one
man
other man in that theater
who left halfway through
Right.
the movie. I don't know. I think he just came in to cool down.
No.
And so we're sitting there. That's when we give each other the gifts, I think.
Yes.
That's when we give
Yeah.
each other the arts and crafts.
Because I do think that deep down inside, we were aware
that if
that
we
it was
meet each other and it doesn't go well.
No. I don't
think
know.
I was waiting to see how it went.
No, for me, I remember in the back of my head being aware that like these gifts are things that our parents should not know that we're giving each other gifts because this is
That's
a little
true. Yeah.
a little much.
Yeah, our parents were going to be like,
why like
Right.
why are you giving a
So
gift?
at least we can hide in the movie
Right.
theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we were holding hands in the movie theater and giving each other gifts.
Yeah.
And watching this movie. Then we went out and rode some rides, and we went back to the hotel
Mhm.
that I was staying in because
Yeah.
we were waiting for your mom to get done seeing Magic Mike.
Yes, you are right. It was the Magic
Your
Mike.
mom was sitting there getting all hot and bothered
Good
over
for her.
Channing Tatum and Magic Mike, and then came to pick you up.
Yep.
And little did she know you was hot and bothered about me.
Yep.
And so we were waiting at the elevator, and I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to kiss her now. Oh my God, we're going to kiss. And then we don't. We get in the elevator and we just hug each other for a very long time.
It was a good hug.
And then I remember thinking, I really hope I see her again. But again, what does this mean? Now I have to sit here and rethink my entire life. And then we didn't see each other again until a month later.
Almost exactly a month, yeah.
Almost exactly a month later, because I was driving home from my dad's house. My dad lived 4 hours away, so an hour away from you. And so I was driving back home from his house, and I figured I'd turn it into a sleepover with you for a couple of nights.
Because it was summer. It was a good summer.
And so then everyone was somewhere. Your brother was out with friends. Your parents were working.
Yeah.
And so it was just us, and that's when we shared our first kiss. And
so
I remember
romantic.
being like, here it goes. Like, I am obviously entering a relationship with a girl, and I must be a big honking gay. I don't know. So the rest is history.
Yeah.
We have been together ever since. We got engaged on our 7-year anniversary.
Yep.
We we're
eloped on our
9-year because it was supposed to be our wedding day, but we were in the middle of COVID, so we postponed it a full year.
Yeah. And also, just to a note, we consider our anniversary June 29th.
Right.
Even now that we're married.
Mhm.
We got married on the anniversary of when we first started talking.
When your
So
first
we're
message to
right.
me in
So we
February.
refer to it sort of as we got engaged on our anniversary, or I mean, we did get engaged on our actual anniversary, June 29th.
Yeah, we got engaged 7 years later on June
Right.
29th.
But we eloped and got married
on the day that you
Right.
first messaged me.
right.
The
So
thing
it's
that
like an
started it all off.
anniversary-ish. It's a special date.
You know what the gays are good at? The gays are good about making many days about them.
Yep.
We have so many anniversaries. It's
I
really hard to keep up.
You know what? Some people will know what this is and some people won't, but there was an app that we use called Couple.
Couple.
It
Rest
was
in peace,
it
Couple.
was the most incredible app for a couple who
Mhm.
was long distance.
Mhm.
They had so many wonderful features,
Yeah.
and we had
my favorite was when I would put my thumb
Yes.
on the sensor, like
Yes.
on my screen. You can touch your screen.
Well, it was when we still had home buttons.
Home buttons.
Yeah.
You would put your thumb on the home button, throwback to
Yeah.
home buttons. And then when the other person had
Yeah.
their thumb on their home button, it would light up green. So
Yeah.
no matter
And it would
how
kind of
far
vibrate a
away
little.
you were,
Yeah.
you were still connected.
It was such a
Ugh.
sweet, like, we would do that every night before bed. Like,
Draw
it was,
each other little thing,
it
like
was
little
a
drawings.
great app.
was for
But
long
one of
distance
the
couples.
features of the app was there were like anniversary, like on like the sidebar, it would show you what your special dates were.
Right.
And I'm not even kidding, probably had 9 special dates at one point.
Our
I don't
first
I don't
kiss.
remember that at all.
Our first handhold.
The first
Our
time we said I love you, which we don't even remember.
I don't remember.
Neither of us remember
who said it
first. Yeah.
I don't even remember who farted first.
No.
I think
you.
I knew that being in a relationship with me, you had to feel comfortable with farts.
Yeah.
Like there are those couples out there that are like, we don't fart in front of each other. Literally, like the second time I met you, we like shared our first kiss, and then 2 hours later, I felt the need to fart, and I'm like, so who's gonna fart first?
Yeah. But I so genuinely cannot imagine living a life where you can't in your own home fart comfortably without overthinking it. If you and I
excused ourselves to the bathroom every time one of us had to fart, we would be in a long distance relationship once again. We would be estranged.
Yeah. Always
farting.
Like to me, it almost is like it's like it brings me back to like the trauma of being in school and not being able to fart. Why would you want to live that in your life?
That's how Pig, our dog, knows when we wake up.
Yes, that's true.
It's like when he
hears
you fart first or I'll fart first, and then we'll reciprocate the fart. And he goes, oh, my parents are awake.
Yep.
And now I'm going to go up and cuddle with them.
Up. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I love that we have been together so long, but from the jump, it didn't even take years to feel that level of comfort with you. It just like immediately I was comfortable. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, I don't know.
I think we, again, just got so lucky across the board with like all of the little things, you know, it's like we met when we were really young and we're both women, which obviously doesn't always make things easy, but it did for us. So like none of that like judgment is there. There's no like we just get each other on all of the levels, which is like so special and so nice.
I have a whole thing, and we can make this whole topic into a podcast episode, but I am under the full belief that the best partners for somebody is someone of their gender.
Yep.
I think men belong with men and women belong. That is the gay agenda. Because when you really think about it, it's like, do I expect a straight man who is like chronically itching his hairy balls and like I don't even know, just burping while watching wrestling to understand my experience as a woman? Like, what are we gonna have in common, really? And again, you can have different interests in your partner, but to be with somebody who understands my experience as a woman, to understand what it's like to go through the world, to be soft and smell nice and supple and just be my genuine best friend, like the shows I like. I mean, it's literally a sleepover every single day. And so when we hear couples, our biggest pet peeve and this is really, we're gonna now kind of start to
Yeah.
transition into the
Trickle
pet
into
peeves kind of thing,
the complaints.
is when couples are like, oh, marriage is so hard. You know, and I hear that a lot, that I started to like maybe believe that we were just incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
But I hear all the time, and it's not even just straight couples,
No,
but
it's
any
not.
couple, you know, marriage is hard, but I wake up every day and I choose you and we work through our hardships. And I'm just sitting here like, since when is marriage hard? Life is hard, but my marriage is the easiest thing in my
Right.
hard life.
Right.
Being with you is the
Life-
easiest thing I've done.
Right.
And I don't even need to choose to be with you. It's just naturally what I want to
Right.
do. I wake up, and why would I ever be with anybody else? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and again, it's like, to me, your marriage should be the one thing that makes your life easier.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be the thing that is adding strife into your life. It's just
Hashtag strife in your life.
Yep.
Hashtag strife.
no
Put it
strife
on a
in your
shirt.
life.
Put it on a shirt. Our first merch drop, strife in your life. It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't. It's not a complete
Oh
thought.
my gosh. But yeah, that is how we met. That is how we got together. That is the tip of the iceberg of how we feel about each other.
Yep.
We have so much to talk about, but that is why we will have many an episode. Mikey's already yawning. She's incredibly bored by what I'm saying.
I'm absolutely
No,
not.
but we're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a listen to a word from one of our sponsors, and then we're gonna transition into a segment that we like to call "I Hate That." So for all of those who can complain, you're gonna love this next bit, and we'll be right back. Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo. And now a word from our sponsors. Be-do-do-do-do-do.
This is Mikey Neff Photography, our first sponsor of the podcast. And this is your notice that you can book Mikey Neff Photography for photography. Mostly family sessions, also weddings. She is a documentary style photographer who focuses on, photography.
Oh my God. All right. I'm taking over. You need to book Mikey for really family photos, newborn photos, maternity photos, small elopements, engagements, small weddings. She's really nervous about big events, so maybe don't book her for those just yet, even though I believe she can do it and she just needs to have faith in herself. But anyway,
I like a little intimate
she's willing to
event.
travel. Preferably, you'll be in the tri-state area. But if you can come up off of that cash to pay for her plane ticket, then she will travel anywhere. Mikey Neff Photo on Instagram and MikeyNeff.com for her website. Ba-da-da-da-da. And we're back. That was a sponsored ad. Thank you so much to that company for being our first sponsor, ship, I guess is what you would call it, a sponsorship. Anyway, so we have reached the final segment of the show called I Hate That. And here on Can Complain, like I've mentioned, being a hater is welcomed. Yep. I think there's a line of, if you're going to hate on me, your comment's getting deleted. But if you're going to hate on the things that I also hate and I agree with you about, absolutely. Also, another thing, I hate hypocrites. What am I? A hypocrite. I enjoy hypocrisy when it comes to it benefiting me, but I also hate hypocrites. So this is a segment that we, the guest, the host, are going to bring forth to the table something that they hate and just discuss it. And you, the viewers at home, can leave in the comments your thoughts about this. And we'll give you instructions at the end of this episode on how to write in what you want to complain about. Something that gets my goat is toxic relationships. And the threat of us having a really good, healthy relationship is toxic relationships that people try to pass off as a good relationship. And what I mean by that is really long captions that are not filled with love, but filled with a war story. Like, this
A
is
first-hand account of
this
war.
is my boyfriend Bobbert, and Bobbert, you make me want to be like Mike the Situation in Italy and bash my head into a brick wall, and the ups and the downs, but mostly the downs. And you really make it so hard for me to be happy, but I love you, Pookie, and you are just the best thing that's never happened to me. And I hate you, but I love you. LOL. We're so crazy and kooky and fun. Love you. What? Why? Why would you post that? Like, people
No.
will literally talk, and again, this goes with like the marriage is hard. No, it's not. If your relationship is putting you through the ringer, just do that in private.
No.
Why do you have to go and make an Instagram post where you're literally in the trenches?
And I think that the worst part of that, but to me, the worst part of that is you're also not even giving us the tea. You're not even telling
Right.
us the
He
drama
cheated
that
on
people
her.
want to know.
He
We
cheats.
like if either keep us out of it completely,
Yeah.
which I would respect,
I would prefer you
I would
keep us
respect-
out of it.
or fully let us in. Tell
Right.
us
One or the other.
why he was arrested. Tell us all of it. I want to know the entire story.
Yeah, it's just it's that couple that it's like, you don't need to be so visible on social media if every time we hear from you, it's like, give it a break. Just break up, please.
Yep.
Because it does not sound healthy at all. And that's always, and I don't know, we want to stay away from generalizations, but to me it feels like it's always that couple where the girl is, he's my twin flame.
Mm-hmm.
The most toxic people will use the term twin flame like it's endearing. Like, I don't, first of all, again, I'm a hater, and maybe my hate is unfounded. I don't know the difference between soulmate and twin flame, other than I feel like soulmate is more healthy, and twin flame is like, we're burning this shit to the ground together.
I think that we have actually looked this up in the past, and I do think, look it up right now.
I will.
I do think that twin flame is more of a negative connotation. I think that it has more to do with that stereotype of we challenge each other, which
Ugh.
I think that again,
I challenge you to stop making me cry I challenge you to go to therapy,
right,
and grow up.
Like, there's two sides to that. I do think that there are certain things that maybe you should be challenging each other for, but I don't think challenge to me isn't the right word.
Oh, no. Here it goes. A twin flame is a person's soul incarnated into or split into another physical body. Because of this, a person can only have one twin flame, while people can have multiple soulmates. So
that is not what
people
we
have been using it wrong.
Yeah,
because we feel like that. We feel like we are literally the same person in different bodies. So a twin flame seems to be the idea that this person is my only, whereas like soulmates can be multiple people, which I agree with. But I feel like anybody who uses twin flame has been using it incorrectly, or using it. I'm just like, this guy who does not text you before 8 p.m. and is always in his Instagram stories with women that are not you, that man is not your twin flame.
Right.
I'm going to just tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Lil, I don't even know what his name, Lil Johnny, he is not your twin flame. He is a fuck boy, and you need to leave that man alone. So it's just like, oh, I don't know. Something just gets my goat about seeing these girls in these toxic relationships, because I so badly want them to be with people they deserve. And that is why I think every woman should be gay. So that's my pet peeve. Because it's just like, don't get me wrong, I am a nosy bitch. I live for the drama and I live for the tea. And I want to see these messy captions because it gives me life. I live vicariously through that from my own healthy relationship corner. But do they not realize how it presents to everybody else?
Yeah, no, that I feel the same way with a lot of like TikToks I see. You know, like I'll see a TikTok where the couple or, you know, the family, it's like parents and a kid, they'll do something horrific.
Mm.
And then it's like anyone with half a brain would look at that and say, "Oh, that's not healthy."
It's just not flattering.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
then
a
they post
flattering
it,
video.
which you know what? I think that across the board, the problem is this feeling that they have to share things. It's this
Yeah.
feeling that you have to share. And,
Mhm.
you know, when it comes to just Instagram posts about, you know, Valentine's Day or relationship, like I
Right.
feel like that they feel like they have to so that people don't think that they broke up.
Right.
But then when it comes to like TikToks, it's like they want the views.
Mhm.
And I think that across the board, let's just stop performing for other people.
Is that what you hate?
It's what I hate.
That's what you hate.
This is what I hate.
Is
People
performative.
Right. I hate people performing for the general public. I say
Mhm.
on our podcast that we are performing for the public. But to some extent,
Right.
we are like, we're just sitting here having a conversation on our couch for the most part. We're not
Right.
really, you know, overthinking what we're
Well,
saying.
there's a lot of couples on TikTok that I'm just like, how can you even enjoy this content because it's so evidently staged, especially
Yeah.
the prank ones.
Oh, those, first of
Who
all,
always has their phone sitting up on the car
Yeah,
dashboard like
right.
this, unless
if
you're.
I walked into the car and saw your phone set up
Right.
like that, I'm like, okay, so
That's
we're
another
filming a
thing.
video.
I hate that.
I really hate that.
Is TikToks or any video
Yep.
where it's set up designed to be a prank, but it's so evidently staged
Yep.
and fake.
Yep.
And especially if you're one of those TikTok couples that's constantly doing prank videos,
Right.
would your partner not then be
Right.
expecting everything that you're
Yeah.
doing to be? I'd just be like, oh, haha, it's a prank.
Yeah.
I would never take you seriously.
No, never.
I don't get. And then
I also would
people
always be on edge.
Yeah.
I just don't like that. Like
but
that.
people
I don't
take
like that.
that content in and then take it seriously.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these thousands of comments and I'm just sitting here saying to myself, you believe
Yeah.
that this is legit?
Right. It's
Because
bizarre.
it's just strange to me.
There's a lot of bizarre content
Yeah,
online.
a lot. But yeah, it's just for me, it's interesting to see relationship dynamics on the internet from the outside looking in.
Maybe people will think that about our relationship dynamic. I don't think that they will.
I don't think
but-
so. Well, that whole debate, the longer your caption, the more unsteady your relationship. But we write long captions about each other for our anniversary.
I think
And by
that-
long, I mean
but-
like 5 sentences.
But I will also say that they have actively gotten shorter. You know, like
Yeah.
our captions used when
Well, because
like,
we used to be
early
young
on,
and cringy
Yeah.
and whatever. You know, those people that celebrated happy 2 months, my love.
we wrote like I don't know, maybe like a handful of sentences
Yeah.
for our 10-year anniversary, which
But I do disagree that it is. I think the length doesn't necessarily matter as long as it's not like what I said before of you
Content
sound like you
matters.
want to wring
Right.
your partner's
Yeah.
neck, and it sounds like it's a daily struggle for you to be into this relationship.
Yeah.
So why even bother
But you know
presenting
what?
that to the world?
I think it is interesting though, because I think that sometimes people think that if I only say good things, that'll seem fake. You
Yeah,
know, like,
there's
I
this
think-
idea
yeah.
that in order to be real, I need to share
The bad parts of the
the
relationship.
the strife in life.
Yeah.
Hashtag strife in life. I need, or else no one would believe
Right.
that we're good. But
I think that, but to me, what is sad about that is in two ways. I think that like you should not feel the need to share your intimate hard times
Mhm.
because the fact of the matter is everyone is going through something, and that's not like something that like why would you want to out your partner in going through a hard time? Like obviously if your partner's garbage, that's a different story. But like if it's something personal that is not them being a bad partner, it's just them going through
Yeah.
a hard time, why even bother
Yeah.
bringing that up online?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
Even though George is broke because he lost his job
Yeah.
and he cannot provide me with anything.
Yeah.
and he asks if he can borrow my car
Right.
and stands behind me and kisses my neck at the cash register while I pay for his McDonald's,
Yeah.
I still love him.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Which reminds me of the Timbaland song that I've been listening to.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't got no, what is it? I ain't got no car to take you
Yeah.
on a date. Can't even buy you flowers. But together we would be the perfect soulmates. No,
Talk to me,
you're
girl.
a bum.
Oh, baby.
Girls, ladies, raise those standards. We grew up, and maybe this is why
the problem.
Becky is in a toxic
It's Timbaland's
relationship
fault.
with Thomas, because we're sitting here growing up on songs like
Yeah.
Timbaland saying, I'm a man who ain't got no job, no car, can't
Mhm.
even buy you flowers, which you can literally pick
Pick
off the
off the
side of the
side.
highway. And yet I'm gaslighting you into believing that we are the perfect soulmates.
Yep.
No, that man needs to get his life together. You need to go and meet someone. I'm yelling.
And you're wagging the mic.
That's true. The audio is
The
going to
audio's
sound
gonna be
like
a
I'm
mess.
like a fly buzzing around.
For
the
those
room.
of you who are listening to this, we will have listened to this also.
Well,
and-
we have to edit it.
Right. We will have listened to it back. So our apologies in advance if for some reason the audio is not perfect. This is our first show.
I
We're
am
doing our
working
best.
with a like $20 Amazon kit.
That is quite literally plugged into our phone.
For those viewers on YouTube, it's a little device, a doodad, that plugs into the phone where your phone charges, and then it's a wireless mic.
So we're recording video on our
Because
phone.
I don't have a budget.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to start a Patreon because I don't know how I'm going to get better funding, better microphones. We're sitting on our couch. First of all, the lighting on YouTube is horrendous because it's storming outside. And so
we had beautiful lighting yesterday.
Yeah. But there's no beautiful light. So we're almost sitting in the dark. This has been quite the experience. But
it's not about that.
It's not.
It's about our words. It is about our life experience.
It is about the 45 people. Or did I say 54?
54, I think.
Okay, I mixed those two things up. It's about the 54 people who are in on the ground floor of this podcast. And we're going to look back in a year, if I can stick with it long enough, at how far we've come in our production and our sound and whatever. And we're going to really feel like we came such a long way. So, that's what I had to complain about. Mikey, you complained about just how people are doing things for clout. I complained about how people need to, I guess relationships on the internet in general and the different variations of them. And I think that just stems from we have a perfect relationship.
I feel scared to say that online because I feel like that's the kiss of death.
Don't stop. Knock on wood. No, the kiss of death is when you get a tattoo for your partner.
Which we would never do.
Yeah.
We would never get each other's names.
No, names. I think if you get something a little like, cutesy, like I've been wanting to do like, a flower bouquet of flowers that mean a lot to us.
There's going to be
something.
We're going to go from having 54 followers to having 1 follower because everyone's going to say that's corny. I feel like people are very all of a sudden strong about bouquet flower tattoos.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
I have been seeing quite a lot of discourse about this.
Oh,
apparently it's not cool.
I need to enroll in this discourse.
Well, I think that, we got married. We had flowers at our wedding. I think it'd be nice to do like a poppy.
Yeah.
Maybe some lavender.
Yeah.
We toss lavender.
Because lavender's gay.
Yep.
And poppies are
beautiful.
gay because they were in our gay wedding.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first.
Yep. The new gay flower.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for coming along for this ride, for listening to the story of how we met, for listening to our pet peeves about other people. We are going to have additional guests in the future, and every week in the I Hate That segment, you're going to hear about that guest's pet peeves. And again, this was
the intro episode.
An intro. It's like the pilot of a TV show, right?
It's never going to end up exactly the same.
Stage, it's character development, but it's only up from here. We're going to take off from here. We'll have more complaining because if there's one thing I can do, it's complain. I can never resonate when someone says, "Oh, I can't complain." Can't relate, okay? Can't relate because I can complain. If you say
Indeed.
you can't complain, you are not trying hard enough and you're a liar.
Yep.
Because everyone can complain about something or
Mhm.
should be able to. So that is why we're here. We're going to every week dig into something to complain about. And I hope you enjoyed this pilot episode. We're only going to work on things to make it better. So feel free to give us feedback. But if it's personal,
Kind
kind
feedback.
feedback. But if it's personal, I'm blocking you. And you can subscribe to us wherever you can find your podcasts. Hopefully, again, I haven't tried yet.
Maybe it'll only end up on
So
YouTube.
I don't know.
We don't
No.
know.
Well, we're hoping Apple, we're hoping Spotify. And do people get podcasts anywhere else? I mean, let's really be real.
I don't know.
So hopefully for those two platforms, YouTube,
We'll
and
be pressing it onto a record and mailing it to our subscribers.
oh my God. Okay. We're on Instagram and TikTok. The handle for that is Can Complain Pod on both TikTok and Instagram. And you can also write into the show. You can email us if you have something you want to complain about for the I Hate That segment. You can send in an audio recording if you want to send in a little 1 minute voice note or just an email with a suggestion. And we'll also give our 2 cents on what the audience does not like and can complain about. But this has been the show, and we're very thankful. And again, subscribe wherever you listen. Follow us on social media, Can Complain Pod. We love you. We adore you. We cannot wait to complain with you even more.
Yep.
Anything else to say, Bug?
That's all. That's our show, folks.
And thanks again to our sponsor, Mikey Net Photography. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.